I suppose when someone mentions community in Ballinasloe, the first person that comes to mind is Carmel Grealy, because Carmel is, she's a doer, she's not just a talker. If there's a job to be done as regards the community, whether it's St. Patrick's Day Parade or the community games or whatever it is, Carmel just wants to know, how do we get that job done? Not can we do it, how do we get it done? So she's a doer.
Sometimes people say that people do things for their own personal improvement and their own agenda. But I've always thought Carmel very much, she was a Ballinasloe person through and through. That was her main driving force, was, to improve the town, to, help the kids to develop as people and sports people or whatever. And she was always very much of that ilk, that it was very much developing the town for the betterment of the town and for the betterment of the kids.
Well, I think it's no coincidence that in Ballinasloe we have got an extremely high number of international standard athletes who represent the country and obviously their hometown of Ballinasloe and East Galway. And I think we can say with certainty that a lot of these athletes have started and have got the start in community games, and Carmel Grealy was there when they first set out with their little jog across the pitch, and that's where it all starts, when they're young.
For Carmel, anything, especially in the town, not just in community games, but even in the town, she's involved in the St. Patrick's Day Parade, various other different events too, and she's one of those people that when Carmel picks up the phone, you answer the phone. And you be there, because at the end of the day, everything will be done right, and she look after everybody, and she just defines the spirit of the community of this town, as well as what she has done with community games, both locally, provincially and nationally.
And the C in Carmel is there definitely a C for community. I was delighted to nominate her for this award. She's the most deserving recipient of it. And I'm particularly delighted because Carmel would not have looked for this herself. Carmel does things for other people, and she doesn't look for praise, and she puts her shoulder to the wheel. If you're talking about volunteerism, you have got one of the best volunteers, I would say, in the country. She's involved, as we know, community games, 5 decades involved with community games, 51 years. She has influenced, I think, and mentored and helped, I'd say, thousands of children locally, in the county and nationally. She's been a great organiser, a wonderful speaker, as you know, and she's got a sense of fun and devilment about her, which endears her to us all. She's extremely proud of her town, extremely proud of her people, and she would do anything to help out.
My name is Carmel Grealy and I live in Ballinasloe. And my portfolio as a volunteer varies from being part of the fundraising in Portiunkilla Hospital, to the Patrick's Day Parade, to the Christmas lights, to the People of the Year awards, to everything and anything. But I suppose primarily I am very involved in community games. In 1968, Joe Connolly set up community games in Walkinstown in Dublin, and it was a whole new ethos and a whole new idea. And fundamentally, it was to introduce children from 6 to under 16, which was very new, to a sporting and cultural event of their choice. So it appealed to us very, very much. And in 1973, we set up our first community games in Ballinasloe, and we've never looked back. I'm passionate about it because it's vitally important that children become involved in something, whether it's sporting, whether it's culture, whether it's dancing, whether it's singing, whether it's painting, whether it's debating, whether it's whatever. Every child is born with a natural talent, and within community games or within anyone's lifestyle, you culture and you foster that great ability that this child has, and you take them through. And there's nothing more rewarding than the child coming up to you who has now become a teenager, or indeed into their rearing their own families and grandchildren, and say, Carmel, remember the day we ran in Ballinasloe, or we ran in Galway, we ran in Mosney, whatever, those great years.
Where would any of us be, any organisation, any voluntary organisation, any sporting organisation be without volunteers? It's volunteers that keep these organisations going. Otherwise, they just wouldn't be in existence. So volunteerism is extremely important, and volunteerism, I think, is Carmel Grealy's middle name.